proveer recursos y liderazgo que apoyen la reforma educativa. Muchas gracias.
For the next few minutes, if you could please direct your attention to Blanca Carvajal and Patricia Santiago, who will share with you some important ideas and information that will help us all understand a little more about why we are here.
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Blanca Carvajal, soy vicepresidenta de aquí del vecindario Guadalupe, Washington. También tengo un grupo folclórico que se llama Grupo Folclórico Yolotri Guerrerense, son los niños que vieron bailar este día. En este grupo tenemos 33 niños de diferentes escuelas como son Washington, Gardner, Rockachips, Willow Glen y otras escuelas.
Buenas tardes. Good evening, everyone. My name is Patricia Santiago, and I am a PACT leader with one child at Rockaship Mateo Shiri and a 2-year-old. I have been involved in the community for about 6 years now. I've been involved because I care for all children, and I believe that everyone has the right to succeed in life and have choices. As Alejandra and Gina have already mentioned it, we are here tonight to begin a process of reunifying and inspiring our community around the pain, the joys, and the goals that we hold in common. As parents, residents, parishioners, grandparents, professionals, students, and families, we share the same dreams for the future of our children and the same sorrow at the losses we see all around us.
Compartimos la misma preocupación y el miedo a la violencia, las drogas y la falta de trabajo, viviendas y la falta de esperanza de retomar nuestra comunidad, donde estamos criando a nuestros hijos. Y sabemos que podemos crear una comunidad, incluso en tiempos difíciles, que se encuentran junto contra el odio, la desconfianza y la desinformación. Sabemos que podemos estar unidos si estamos comprometidos a trabajar juntos.
You all will be asked to pledge your commitment tonight to this community, to your children, and to working together to make this neighborhood powerful and strong and a place we can continue to be proud of. We hope you will agree to make that pledge. With our next few minutes, we want to share with you some of our research and some of the concerns and hopes that we heard when we talked to all kinds of different families in this neighborhood. 3 weeks ago, in a meeting of our coalition, about 20 parents and community members from across the Washington community shared what brought them to the meeting that night. Every single person shared that they were there for 2 reasons. Number 1, they love their community, and number 2, they had a sense of urgency and desperation to see an excellent middle school in their community.
Nos hemos organizado con la intención de traer el interés de nuestra comunidad para el futuro de nuestros hijos. Nuestras intenciones son claras. Queremos que se vayan esta noche con un mensaje claro de nosotros. Como comunidad, estamos comprometidos a hacer todo lo posible para traer una escuela secundaria de excelencia en nuestra comunidad.
This is our issue. Since the closure of Woodrow Wilson Junior High on Vine Street, currently now CET, our community has suffered for well over 40 years without a high-performing middle school our children could walk to. Since then, our community has had to take their children to other district middle schools, with some families leaving the area entirely. Most of the schools are nowhere near our community.
Este mapa demuestra la distancia en las secundarias que tenemos como opciones en el distrito. Aquí está el mapa, si pueden mirarlo acá arriba. 1.5 millas de Washington encontramos la escuela River Glen. 2.5 millas de Washington encontramos la escuela Hoover Middle School. 2.5 millas de Washington encontramos Burnett Middle School. 3.5 millas de Washington encontramos Willow Glen Middle School. 7 millas de Washington encontramos la escuela Allen School. 8 millas de Washington encontramos la escuela Castillero. 8.5 millas de Washington encontramos la escuela John Muir. 9 millas de la escuela Washington encontramos a Bret Harte Middle School.
In addition, the next three graphs show 2013 API scores for Asian, White, Latino, and English language learner students for our nearest district schools. In this first graph, please note how all the Latino API scores in the 7 middle schools are significantly lower compared to both Asian and White students.
En esta segunda gráfica, si pueden mirarla, está acá arriba. Compara las calificaciones del APA de solo asiáticos y latinos de las 7 escuelas ya mencionadas.
The third graph shows the unbelievably high achievement gap at Bret Harte, where some in our community have tried to put their kids assuming it was the best option they had. At this middle school, there is a completely unacceptable achievement gap between Asian and Latino students of 224 points. This is a tragedy.
Estamos desesperados por tener una escuela que eduquen a nuestros hijos igual. Es tiempo ahora y no podemos esperar más. Nosotros queremos estar orgullosos que tenemos unos líderes de estas escuelas y representantes que sean activos, decisivos y perseverantes, que hagan preguntas importantes y fuertes y que pongan a nuestros niños primero.
San Jose Unified School District core values speak of commitment. One of those core values speak of public engagement. We as parents of this community vested in our children's education urge you to invest and also include us in your process to identify an excellent middle school. Not because we are asking for special treatment, but because our children deserve the best.
Muchas gracias a Blanca y a Patricia. Estadísticas y esta información es muy importante, pero no sabemos mucho sobre las preocupaciones de las familias sin los testimonios de sus propias experiencias. Quisiéramos presentarles a un padre líder de PACT, Patsy Cervantes y su hija Luna, y también a Nanette Juárez y su hija Nadine, y una mamá de Washington, Mari Carmen, quien van a hablar sobre sus experiencias. Empezaremos con Mari Carmen.
Mi nombre es Mari Carmen Robles. Soy mamá de 2 niños, de 10 años, Saúl, y Sally de 6 años. Ambos son alumnos de Washington School. Bravo. Nosotros luchamos y deseamos que nuestros hijos tengan una educación de calidad para que ellos puedan realizar sus sueños que desde pequeños han tenido. Saúl desea ser un programador de computadoras y Sally desea ser veterinaria. Casi a diario me lo recuerda. Nosotros como padres, el mejor regalo que les podemos dar a ellos es buscar las mejores opciones de educación para que realicen sus metas y estén en el camino que los llevará al éxito. Nuestra comunidad requiere una secundaria de excelencia en educación que promueva la unidad de la comunidad y amistad familiar, donde todos se enfoquen en la educación de los estudiantes para que puedan avanzar nuestra comunidad. Esta es la razón por que estamos aquí. La división nos está quitando oportunidades. Perdemos oportunidades por falta de información, pero ahora nuestra comunidad está tomando los pasos de reconciliación. Estamos tratando de promover una unión en nuestra comunidad y necesitamos el apoyo y el liderazgo de ustedes como representantes y personas responsables de la comunidad de Washington. Les pedimos que nos tomen en cuenta como padres cuando tomen los pasos requeridos en la aprobación y construcción de una escuela secundaria de excelencia. Gracias y buenas tardes.
Gracias, Mari Carmen. Y ahora sí, por favor, pudiera venir a Patsy y su hija Luna.
Hola, mi nombre es Patsy Cervantes. Tengo 3 hijos, Luna de 11, Ireri de 8 y Octavio de 5. Soy habitante de esta comunidad de Washington y quiero manifestar mi preocupación acerca de los acontecimientos que están ocurriendo y de la división que se ha formado en esta comunidad. Me preocupo mucho por mi comunidad y soy muy activa en los estudios de mis hijos. Yo, al igual que mis compañeros, estoy dispuesta a ayudar en lo que sea necesario para crear un ambiente positivo para mis hijos y llenar el vacío académico que existe en esta comunidad para poder crear nuevas escuelas para que nuestros hijos tengan las mejores opciones para salir adelante y para lograr una excelencia académica. Deseo lo mejor para mis hijos y yo pienso que todos como padres deseamos lo mejor para nuestros hijos también y queremos más bien manifestar que tenemos que estar unidos todos para lograr las metas de nuestros hijos, porque ellos son lo más importante y son el futuro. Aquí está mi hija Luna, que también quiere dar un testimonio. Gracias.
Hola, me llamo Luna Cervantes y soy estudiante de Waukesha Mateo City y estoy a punto de graduarme. Fui afortunada de ser aceptada en la Escuela de Sagrado Corazón. Afortunadamente para mí, pero desafortunadamente para unos de mis compañeros no corrieron con la misma suerte. Por eso me gustaría que hubiera más escuelas de alta calidad en nuestra comunidad para que nuestros compañeros tengan la misma oportunidad de alcanzar sus metas académicas. Gracias.
Muchas gracias a Patsy y Luna. Y finalmente le damos la bienvenida a Nanette y Nadine.
Good evening. My name is Nanette Martinez Juarez. I'm the 5th generation here, born and raised in the Sacred Heart, Washington community. I have 3 children, a 26-year-old alumnus from Downtown College Prep, a 14-year-old currently in ACE Charter High School, and a 32-year-old who works for the County of Santa Clara. I attended Washington School Elementary, Edward Markham Middle School, which is now Willow Glen Middle through High School. I had to travel on public transportation. I was a struggling student academically, and I feel like I was pushed out of the system. I didn't have anyone who'd encourage me, keep me trying, who believed in me, much less talk to me about college. The moment my children began their age in their school ages, I always feared that they would have the same experience. Each in their own way, they almost did. One of the examples are there in my handouts. One day, my neighbor, a grandmother raising 3 of her grandchildren, told my mother about a charter school, and it was named Downtown College Prep. I said, I was interested in that just because of the name. My son was at Markham, and he was so bad academically, and he didn't like school at all. We went to go visit DCP, saw the curriculum. I saw the respect the teachers demonstrated and that they demanded in return. Everybody was so in tune with each child. Immediately, I enrolled my son. It brought his math skills immensely, his reading, and his interest in school. My son was a DCP. When he was at DCP, he had a friend who lived in Sacramento. Monday through Friday, he lived with his aunt in San Jose. Just to have a better education, this is a type of example us low-income families have to go through when they don't have choices. I had peace of mind because my son was in the right place for his education, and that he would not have my same experience. Now my youngest daughter is a 9th grader at ACE Charter High. For both my son, my daughter, and some neighbors, I became their transportation to struggle and travel outside of my community to commute them to their school, DCP and ACE. My entire family schedule has revolved and rescheduled around my youngest daughter attending ACE because we have to travel outside. I dare let her take public transportation. I once believed in the NCLB Act 2001, No Child Left Behind. How many more generations have to wait until somebody really puts our kids first and brings a new high-quality middle school to our community? I believe in my heart that our families deserve it. I thank you for your time.
Hello, my name is Nadine Juarez, and Annette is my mother. I'm currently attending Ace Charter High School, and I attended Ernesto Galarza Elementary School for 6 years, kindergarten to 5th grade. My reading level was always at least 2 years below. Teachers tried to help, but quickly gave up. I think they would give up on me easily because I didn't start talking until I was 4 years old. Although I was very young, I felt left out and out of place. When I attended ACE, I felt welcomed. ACE Charter has helped me through my struggles, and throughout the years has not only helped me realize school is important, but made me realize what I want for me in my future. One thing I love about my school is that it takes the time to figure out how each of the students learn. I hated reading and always fell asleep. But when I entered ACE, they took the time to help me figure out what I'd like to read. Now, I am reading 300 to 500 page novels a week, and now at grade level. I don't think my mother should have to go through the struggle to get me to school every day outside of our community to get the education I need and deserve. Although I know I am fulfilling my mother and father's dream, one day I want to become an attorney and sit in the Supreme Court to change laws or even sit where our public officials are sitting. I thank you for your time and pray my words mean something to each and every one of you.
Thank you, Mari Carmen, Patsy, Luna, Nanette, Nadine, for your important and powerful words. It's not always easy to tell your story, and you all did a really great job. At this time, we will begin with our questions for our elected officials. Father Walter, PACT parent leaders, Felipe Portales and Ray Garcia will be asking our questions. All of our officials here have received the questions in advance of this meeting. Although I must tell you, they received them really late, and I really appreciate that they are cooperating. It's not an easy place, so my apologies, and I do take responsibility for that. So we ask that you each answer our questions briefly, and Father Walter will be our first person.
Thank you so much for being here this evening. And the first question is, as you can see, we're putting our efforts to work for education, but also we want to do it in unity without divisions. So how you can help us in your different and very important positions and roles, how you can help us that we can be a strong community, that we work together and we have a good education for our children.
Good evening. My name is Vincent Matthews. I'm the superintendent from the San Jose Unified School District. I believe the question is, how can we work together for unity? One of the in coming to, well, first of all, let me say in terms of the presentation that you saw with the achievement gap, we actually called it the opportunity gap. And one of the young ladies said that this is unacceptable, and as a district and as your superintendent, I wholeheartedly agree that the gap that has existed for many, many decades is absolutely unacceptable. Our board has made that the #1 goal, the elimination of the opportunity gap. This was 2 years ago. The entire board voted unanimously to make that a top priority. In terms of unity, I've heard a lot of people coming forward and talking about certain schools. I'll just say that for us as a district, what we are about is trying to create quality schools. And whether that is a traditional school or a charter school, for us it's about creating that quality school. We've authorized many charters over the last few years, including DCP renewal, Downtown College Prep Middle School, ACE Middle School, Rocket Ship School. So there isn't a division for us. And sitting up here and being the center of this, I just tell you, when we, and moving forward and trying to create the middle school that so many of you have asked for, we absolutely believed in putting the best school forward, and that's what we did. So I say that to say, sitting here in the middle, I don't believe that this is the place. I believe that the discussion really needs to happen out there, because when we put the school forward, it wasn't us fighting, it was our arguing. It was definitely community members who had differences of opinion. So we can continue to go down this road, we can continue to put the best school forward, but ultimately members of the community are going to have to come together so that there isn't this war and division about the school as we go forward.
Buenas tardes, soy Teresa Castellanos, soy representante de esta área, y yo vine a esta junta con el pensamiento que la idea principal es promover la unidad y la paz, porque creo que todos nos hemos dado cuenta que hay divisiones y que esas divisiones están viniendo por dentro de la comunidad. Y como acaba de decir el superintendente, nosotros sí hablamos de traer una middle school aquí. Esto no es una pregunta nueva. Pasamos los últimos 4 o 5 meses hablando de esa posibilidad, pero había tanta división en esta comunidad que decidimos que teníamos que escuchar a la comunidad, porque sí se movilizó la comunidad para decir no. Y creo que había muchas condiciones y muchas preocupaciones que esa parte de la comunidad expresó. Principalmente que si va a haber una middle school, ¿qué se va a hacer en el contexto de las pandillas? Sabemos todos que las pandillas han regresado a esta área. Sabemos que a una cuadra hay mucha prostitución. Sabemos que las condiciones han empeorado porque la economía ha empeorado. Y creo que hay varias condiciones que se tienen que primero enfrentar, y muchas de esas condiciones tienen que ver con la ciudad y la asistencia policíaca que hay en esta comunidad, para luego empezar de nuevo esta conversación, porque sí hubo preguntas que no teníamos respuestas, que todos tenemos que responder como comunidad. Entonces lo que yo les digo, y estoy aquí yo para promover la paz, yo voy a hacer todo lo posible para promover la paz, para que cuando discutamos este tema otra vez, todos estemos unidos.
I think as far as the conversation about the middle school, you have two people here who are far more familiar with a lot of what has happened over the last several months and year. I think as far as the question about bringing the community together, I would approach it this way. Now, I've had a chance to visit Washington. I've had a chance to work with the folks at PACT, and you are the answer. You are the answer. Because part of the issue is the fact there are a lot of parents who are not here tonight. And one of the biggest challenges has been, how do we sort of start this movement to get more parents involved? Because we have a lot of you who are doing a lot of good work, but it's not enough. We need more parents. And I believe them seeing your example about how you're coming out, how you're making demands, how you are expressing yourself about wanting more for your children, you can get them to do the same. And if we all are working together to get everyone at the table and to hear all of those voices, I do believe that we can be successful. So that's where I would like to see all of this go, where the conversation should reside, is how do we get more people at the table to be a part of this conversation, to be a part of the community, and maybe through that involvement come up with a solution that we all can live with.
Thank you, President Beachman. Let me begin by thanking Father Suarez, PACT, for bringing us together tonight for this important issue. There's nothing more important than the education of our children. And I respect everybody at this table from Dr. Matthews to my colleague to my left, Trustee Vice President Green. We all believe that children are our most precious resource, all of us. This area has really a personal connection to me. Just down the street at 222 Willow Street is where my father lived. He went to school at Sacred Heart School. The building, if you walk by it, says G. DeSalvo, for Giuseppe DeSalvo, 1927. It's right on the entryway of the building at 222 Willow Street. So I am really want to dedicate myself to this community. That said, I do think, and I've said in my own board meetings, that a middle school for this area, I grew up on Vine Street and Ballback the first 10 years of my life, which is now Waz Way and Almaden Boulevard. I walked to Woodrow Wilson to shoot baskets with my brothers when I was growing up to 10 years old. Shame on us that that school's been closed for 40 years. Shame on all of us that we have not put together a middle school for this community. Now's the time. Now's the time. And I said it when and it's a false choice of whether it's a charter or a traditional public. That's a false choice. That we have a quality middle school serving 6th, 7th, and 8th graders, or a kindergarten through 8th grade school in this community is vitally important. I will do all I can, as I said at my meeting 2 years ago, to make that happen. I'm a former middle school principal, and I know how important middle school is, not only to the community, but to the students and the children who thrive from there on to high school and to college and careers. So thank you, Father Suarez, for putting this together.
I'm going to stand up only because I want to see all of the beautiful faces that are back there. I can't see everybody. I'm Darcy Green. I have the honor of being the Vice President of the Santa Clara County Board of Education and to serve with these amazing people here to the left. And I just first want to start off by telling you that you all have an incredible champion in Ms. Teresa Castellanos, who's sitting right here. You're very fortunate to have her on your board because she is truly one of the most intelligent, passionate, caring people, and you're lucky to have her there, as well as Superintendent Matthews, who I know cares very deeply. And first, to answer the question about what can I do as a trustee to help with unifying the community, and at the same time moving forward, what I think is our shared vision for ensuring that every one of our children, every single child, has access and the opportunity to receive a quality education and doesn't have to worry about taking their children outside of their community to find that. First, the one thing that I will continue to do is to always, as a trustee, and Trustee DeSalvo said this perfectly, I think President Beachman did as well, is that we don't have